Why did Jack Lord's time on Hawaii Five-O leave behind more than just an iconic character? For decades, Steve McGarrett, the tough, no-nonsense detective, was the face of justice and calm on the hit TV series. Yet behind that famous stoic stare, there was a storm brewing, one that fans and insiders whispered about but never fully understood. Jack Lord, the man who brought McGarrett to life, carried a reputation far beyond his on-screen heroics. Rumors of intense feuds, creative battles, and a controlling personality have shadowed his legacy for years. Now, decades after Hawaii Five-O first aired, new insights reveal the truth behind the silent struggles that shaped the show and Jack Lord's own career. The legend of Steve McGarrett is woven into television history. When Hawaii Five-O premiered in 1968, it wasn't just another cop show. It was a cultural phenomenon, a mix of thrilling cases set against the lush backdrop of Hawaii, with Jack Lord anchoring it all as the unwavering team leader. The character became synonymous with dedication, bravery, and an unbreakable will. But while millions admired McGarrett's cool demeanor behind the scenes, Jack Lord was building a very different story, one marked by control, conflict, and secrecy. What made Jack Lord's relationship with Hawaii Five-O so complicated? For starters, Lord wasn't just a lead actor. He was deeply involved in how the show was made. Unlike many stars who focus solely on their role, Lord wanted his fingerprints on everything, from the scripts to casting choices, even to the smallest production details. This level of control wasn't common at the time, and it set the stage for tension. Insiders have long suggested that Jack's desire for perfection and influence created a divide between him and the people around him. Over the years, stories circulated of heated arguments, silent Cold Wars, and professional clashes. Some cast members reportedly felt stifled, while producers struggled to balance Lord's demands with the realities of running a TV show. These whispers grew louder as Hawaii Five-O enjoyed its long run, fueling speculation about what was really going on behind the camera. What's surprising is how little Jack Lord himself spoke about it, until recently, when some of his final interviews and remarks began to shed light on the situation. The public image of a stoic hero didn't easily match the man behind the scenes, whose silence on a feud only added to the mystery. Was Jack Lord simply a perfectionist, misunderstood by those who worked with him? Or was there something more personal and painful driving the tensions? As we dig deeper, the answers start to paint a complex portrait, one that challenges the simple hero narrative and reveals the costs of fame, control, and isolation. And the story gets even more complicated when you consider recent revelations about Jack Lord's health struggles and personal life, which may have fueled the fire. These elements, previously kept under wraps, now help explain the cracks that appeared in the seemingly flawless image of Hawaii Five-O. What exactly did Jack Lord finally reveal in his last words about these issues? How did the feud shape his legacy? And what can we learn about the human side of a television legend? The answers come in stages, and each piece adds a new layer of understanding. What started as a legendary TV role turns into a tale of creative battles, personal hardships, and a man trying to hold on to control in a rapidly changing industry. Stick around as we uncover Jack Lord's untold story, because this isn't just about a TV show. It's about the price of being a star, and what happens when the cameras stop rolling. Jack Lord didn't just play Steve McGarrett. He became him. When Hawaii Five-O launched in 1968, no one could have predicted how much the show, and this character, would change television forever. McGarrett was the ideal lawman, tough, smart, and unwavering in his pursuit of justice. But more than that, he was the perfect anchor for a show that mixed crime drama with the stunning scenery of Hawaii, creating something new and irresistible to audiences. Jack Lord's portrayal wasn't just acting. It was a carefully crafted performance that shaped the show's tone and success. Before Hawaii Five-O, Lord was already an experienced actor, but this role skyrocketed him to fame. His presence was commanding, and he delivered McGarrett with a sense of gravitas that felt both authentic and magnetic. It was clear from the start that Steve McGarrett wasn't your typical TV detective. He was strict but fair, intense but calm, a man who demanded respect but didn't ask for sympathy. For viewers, he became a symbol of order amid chaos, a rock in the unpredictable world of crime-solving. Jack Lord's approach to the character was meticulous. He didn't just show up to read lines. He shaped McGarrett's personality, mannerisms, and even how he handled authority. This attention to detail made Steve McGarrett stand out from other TV cops of the time. His sharp eyes, measured tone, and no-nonsense attitude turned the character into an unforgettable icon. The show's success was almost entirely tied to this portrayal. Ratings soared, and for 12 seasons, audiences tuned in weekly to watch McGarrett lead his team through complex cases in paradise. But there was more to Jack Lord's involvement than just acting. From early on, he wanted the show to maintain a certain quality and authenticity. He insisted on accuracy in the scripts, the procedures, and even the locations. He pushed for the show to represent Hawaii respectfully and realistically, not just as a pretty backdrop. This commitment added layers to the show's appeal, but also foreshadowed control issues that would later stir conflict. What many fans didn't see was a contrast between the public's admiration for McGarrett and the reality of Jack Lord's private life. Behind the scenes, the actor was known to be intensely private, rarely giving interviews or revealing much about himself. Unlike his on-screen persona, Lord kept a low profile, preferring to work without distractions. This separation between character and actor only deepened the mystique surrounding him, and eventually contributed to the tensions on set. Despite this privacy, Jack Lord's charisma and dedication created a bond with the audience that lasted decades. McGarrett became more than a character. He was a cultural touchstone. Fans identified with his loyalty, his strength, and his clear sense of right and wrong. The show helped define the cop genre for years to come, influencing countless successors. Yet, as iconic as McGarrett was, the man who played him was slowly becoming more difficult to work with. The same perfectionism that made Lord a standout actor also made collaboration challenging. His drive to keep the show perfect sometimes crossed into stubbornness and rigidity. This trait, while initially helping Hawaii Five-0 shine, eventually sowed seeds of discord that few dared to address openly. What led Jack Lord from beloved star to controversial figure? The answer lies in how his commitment to Steve McGarrett's world shaped his real-life relationships. The rise of the character set a high bar, one that Jack Lord held himself and everyone around him to, whether they liked it or not. That tension between the man and the myth will become central to the story behind the scenes. Jack Lord's dedication to Hawaii Five-0 went far beyond acting. While most stars focus on their performance, Lord took a deep personal interest in every detail of the show. Some called him a perfectionist, others a control freak, and the truth probably lies somewhere in between. His influence stretched from the scripts and casting to the very production choices that shaped each episode. But that intense involvement came at a price. Lord's reputation for being difficult wasn't just rumor. Cast and crew members often described a man who demanded absolute control over how things were done. He wasn't just Steve McGarrett on screen. He was the gatekeeper of the entire show's vision. If something didn't meet his standards, he pushed hard to fix it. At times, this meant rewriting dialogue, vetoing creative decisions, and even questioning the work of producers. While his intentions were to protect the show's quality, this controlling streak rubbed many the wrong way. One of the most talked about aspects of Lord's control was his handling of scripts. He wanted McGarrett's character to always come across strong, smart, and uncompromising. That led him to ask for constant script revisions, sometimes late into filming. Writers felt the pressure to craft dialogue that suited not only the character, but Jack Lord's personal vision of the role. Producers had to balance these demands with deadlines and budgets, creating a tense working environment behind the polished exterior of the show. The actors who work alongside him faced their own challenges. Some co-stars felt overshadowed or sidelined by Lord's dominance. Stories emerged of tense exchanges where Jack's insistence on maintaining McGarrett's authority translated into off-camera friction. While many admired his commitment, others found it difficult to collaborate with someone so controlling. The sense was that Jack Lord saw himself not just as an actor, but as a protector of the show's identity, and he wasn't willing to compromise. This perfectionism extended beyond scripts. Lord reportedly weighed in on everything from camera angles to wardrobe choices. Even small details, like how a character entered a room or held a weapon, were scrutinized. His hands-on approach created a very specific atmosphere on set, one where nothing was left to chance. While that undoubtedly helped make Hawaii Five-0 consistent and sharp, it also made the working environment more rigid and stressful. Some producers reportedly clashed with Lord because his control sometimes slowed production or led to costly reshoots. Others worried his strong personality could stifle creative input from others. Yet Jack Lord rarely budged. For him, Hawaii Five-0 wasn't just a job, it was a legacy, and he saw himself as its guardian. That sometimes meant pushing people away to keep the show exactly how he envisioned it. Despite the conflicts, Lord's intensity helped define Hawaii Five-0's unique style and tone. His exacting standards meant the show rarely felt sloppy or unfocused, and viewers responded to that professionalism. But the cracks beneath the surface were growing. Behind the scenes, the tension built quietly, and relationships strained under the weight of Lord's uncompromising control. This side of Jack Lord's personality made many wonder. Was a man simply passionate about his craft, or was something deeper at play? Was his need for control a mask for personal insecurities or stress? And how did this tension affect the people around him? The story of Jack Lord behind-the-scenes control is key to understanding the larger feud that would later surface. But the controlling nature wasn't the whole story. As we'll see, the rumored feuds and personal struggles added new layers to the drama, layers that weren't always visible to the audience. What happened next on set would test relationships and eventually force Jack Lord to confront the fallout from his intense grip on the show. Tension on the Hawaii Five-0 set wasn't just about creative differences. It spilled over into personal relationships. Behind the scenes, whispers of feuds and clashes spread among cast and crew, painting a picture of a workplace that wasn't always as idyllic as Hawaii's sunny beaches. Jack Lord's controlling nature didn't just cause frustration. It reportedly sparked outright conflict with producers, writers, and even his co-stars. But what fueled these feuds, and how deep did they run? One of the most persistent rumors involved Jack Lord's relationship with key producers. Stories suggest that Lord frequently butted heads with the production team over creative control. While producers wanted to balance budget schedules and fresh ideas, Lord pushed back hard to protect his vision of the show. Several insiders say this led to heated arguments behind closed doors, with tensions escalating to a breaking point during later seasons. It said that some producers felt sidelined or undermined by Lord's influence, creating an uneasy power struggle. Then there were the clashes with fellow actors. While Jack Lord was a star, some co-stars felt their roles and input were diminished by his dominance. Rumors hint at icy interactions on set, where Lord's commanding presence left little room for collaboration. A few cast members reportedly found Lord's personality cold and difficult, a stark contrast to his charismatic on-screen persona. The gulf between star and co-star wasn't always bridged easily, and that dynamic added strain to the team. More intriguingly, some insiders allege that Lord's rigid perfectionism led to moments of real tension with scriptwriters. Writers struggled to keep up with his demands for changes to dialogue and character development. Some even felt censored, as Lord sought to ensure McGarrett was portrayed a certain way, always strong, never vulnerable. This led to complaints that the character became less relatable over time, which may have contributed to tensions in the writer's room. Beyond professional conflicts, the rumors also hint at personal issues. Some sources describe Jack Lord as emotionally distant, sometimes withholding warmth from those around him. His private nature and refusal to engage socially with the cast and crew reportedly deepened the sense of isolation. The coldness wasn't just personality. Some believe it was a defense mechanism, a way to maintain control and protect himself from the pressures of fame and scrutiny. The combination of creative clashes and personal distance created a perfect storm. Tensions reportedly came to a head in the later seasons, with morale dipping and relationships fraying. Some cast members even considered leaving, frustrated by the atmosphere. Though the show continued for 12 successful seasons, the behind-the-scenes environment was far from harmonious. What makes these feuds even more fascinating is that Jack Lord rarely, if ever, addressed them publicly. His silence fueled speculation and kept the rumors alive for decades. Only in some of his final interviews did he hint at the difficulties, offering glimpses of regret and acknowledgement. But by then, much of the damage or mystery had already been done. This long silence left fans and insiders wondering, was Jack Lord truly the cause of the conflicts, or was he simply a victim of the pressures that come with leading such a demanding show? And how much did his health and personal struggles affect these feuds? The answers start to emerge when we look closer at what was happening off-camera, beyond the creative battles. As we explore Jack Lord's health and personal stress next, it becomes clear that the story of Hawaii Five-O's feud isn't just about clashing personalities. It's about how ambition, perfectionism, and personal challenges collide, and sometimes explode when the spotlight is brightest. Behind the legendary role in the on-set clashes, Jack Lord was quietly fighting battles that few people knew about. As Hawaii Five-O progressed into its later seasons, those close to him noticed a change. His health was becoming a growing concern, and the stress of managing the show's demands seemed to weigh heavily on him. These personal struggles didn't just affect Lord's well-being. They played a significant role in the tensions that had long been rumored on set. Jack Lord was famously private, especially when it came to his health. Unlike many stars who might seek sympathy or share their struggles publicly, Lord kept his difficulties hidden. But behind the scenes, sources revealed that he was battling serious medical issues, including heart problems that made the physical demands of filming increasingly challenging. This added pressure complicated an already stressful environment and contributed to his well-documented perfectionism and controlling behavior. Stress wasn't just about health, though. As the series dragged on, Jack Lord reportedly felt the weight of responsibility not only as a star, but as a de facto guardian of the show's vision. He took this role seriously, but the emotional toll was immense. Insiders recall how Lord became more withdrawn, less willing to engage socially, and more rigid in his demands. Some believe the combination of chronic health concerns and mounting stress pushed him toward defensive, sometimes harsh demeanor. This period also coincided with the show's changing dynamics. The television landscape was evolving, and Hawaii Five-O faced new challenges from competitors and shifting audience tastes. Jack Lord's resistance to change clashed with producers' attempts to refresh the series. At the same time, his health limited his ability to adapt or step back gracefully. This created friction that fueled the ongoing rumors of feuds and dissatisfaction on set. More poignantly, those who worked closer with Jack noticed moments when the man beneath the tough exterior showed vulnerability. It's said that during private conversations, Lord would admit feeling overwhelmed by the pressure to maintain his character's integrity and the show's legacy. Yet his pride and determination often kept him from showing this side publicly. This struggle between strength and vulnerability added a deeply human element to his story, one rarely seen by fans. Some speculate that the stress and health issues might have even contributed to his decision to end Hawaii Five-O after 12 seasons. Rather than continue in a role that was becoming physically and emotionally taxing, Lord chose to close the chapter on a high note. This decision surprised many, but looking back, it reflected the complex reality he was facing, a man battling both external demands and internal battles. Understanding this context helps explain why Jack Lord's relationship with the show and those around him became strained. The health challenges and stress didn't excuse his controlling behavior, but they offer a clearer picture of why the atmosphere behind the scenes grew tense. It's a reminder that fame and success don't shield anyone from personal struggles. As we move into Jack Lord's final interviews and his rare moment of reflection, we start to see a different side, one less guarded and more honest. His silence begins to break, revealing insights about the feud and what it cost him personally. The man who once seemed untouchable finally opened up, offering a glimpse of reconciliation and regret. What did Jack Lord say when he finally broke the silence? The answers are surprising, and they reshape the story in unexpected ways. For years, Jack Lord remained silent about the rumors swirling around Hawaii Five-0 and the conflicts that marked his time on the show. He guarded his privacy fiercely, rarely giving interviews and almost never addressing the whispered controversies. But in his final public remarks, a different story emerged. A man ready to confront the past and offer a new perspective on what really happened behind the scenes. In these rare interviews, Jack Lord admitted that the pressure of leading Hawaii Five-0 was overwhelming at times. He spoke candidly about the toll the role and the show's demands had taken on him, physically and emotionally. Far from the unshakable Steve McGarrett the world knew, Lord revealed a more fragile side, burdened by the expectations he had set for himself and those around him. This honesty surprised many fans who had long seen him as a distant figure. Lord acknowledged that his drive for control, while rooted in a desire to protect the show's integrity, sometimes caused strain with colleagues. He expressed regret that his perfectionism might have created distance with cast and crew, hinting that his insistence on a certain vision came at a personal cost. But he also emphasized how much Hawaii Five-0 meant to him, not just as a job, but as a legacy he wanted to preserve. One of the most poignant moments came when Lord reflected on the isolation that fame can bring. Despite the show's success and his iconic status, he admitted feeling alone at times, cut off from the very people he worked with day after day. This loneliness, combined with health struggles and the weight of responsibility, created a difficult environment that few fully understood. Jack Lord's final words didn't erase the tensions or erase the past, but they added depth to the story. They humanized a man who had been mythologized and misunderstood. Instead of a cold, controlling star, the public saw a complex individual wrestling with high expectations, personal limits, and the challenges of a demanding career. Perhaps most importantly, Lord's reflections serve as a form of closure. He didn't shy away from the truth or try to rewrite history. Instead, he faced it head-on, offering an honest account that invited understanding rather than judgment. This rare glimpse behind the curtain gave fans a chance to appreciate not just the legend of Steve McGarrett, but the man who lived in his shadow. In the end, Jack Lord's silence wasn't just about keeping secrets. It was about protecting himself and the legacy he built. His final words broke that silence in a way that reshaped how the feud and his role in it are remembered. It's a reminder that behind every iconic character is a real person with struggles, regrets, and hopes. So, what can we take away from Jack Lord's story? It's a tale of ambition, control, vulnerability, and ultimately, humanity. The feud, the tension, and the silence were all part of a larger picture, a complex narrative of a man trying to hold on to his vision while facing the challenges life threw at him. Jack Lord's story is far more than just a legendary TV star's behind-the-scenes feud. It's a complex portrait of a man who became an icon but paid a heavy price for his perfectionism, control, and privacy. The tensions on Hawaii Five-0 set, the rumored conflicts, and his health struggles all come together to reveal a layered narrative, one that moved beyond gossip to explore the human side of fame. What stands out most is how Jack Lord's dedication shaped the show we remember today. His commitment to authenticity, quality, and the character of Steve McGarrett was unmatched. Yet, that same intensity created rifts with those around him, reminding us that genius and difficulty often walk hand in hand. The feud wasn't just a clash of egos. It was a result of a man trying to protect something he cared about deeply, even at personal cost. In the end, Jack Lord's final reflections add a sense of closure to the story. His willingness to admit struggles and regrets paints a more complete picture, one that respects his legacy while acknowledging the challenges beneath the surface. It's a reminder that the people behind our favorite characters are complicated, imperfect, and human. For fans of Hawaii Five-0 and anyone interested in the hidden stories of Hollywood, Jack Lord's journey offers valuable lessons. It shows how ambition can drive greatness but also create isolation, how silence can protect but also divide, and how even legends wrestle with vulnerability. Thanks for watching this deep dive into the real story behind Jack Lord's silence and Hawaii Five-0 feud. If you enjoyed this video and want more stories that pull back the curtain on famous figures and shows, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. What do you think about Jack Lord's story? Did his controlling nature justify the tensions, or was it a symptom of something deeper? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your take. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the stories behind the stories.